Hello everybody, I'm Sniping is Fun, and the video we bring you guys today will be my thoughts on the Nintendo E3 2012 conference from Tuesday, as well as the 3DS showcase of last night, Wednesday night. I was originally going to make these two separate videos because I was going to do my thoughts on E3 yesterday, but I didn't get around to it, and then I was going to do a separate video last night about the whole 3DS part of the conference, but I didn't really do that either, so I decided now I'm going to actually put them together. And before I get on to this video, I want to quickly talk about the conference and everything in the 3DS showcase. I just want to give my thoughts on what everyone else has been saying about E3, about Nintendo's E3 and so on and so forth. There's a lot of people that are like really pro this conference, but there's also a lot of people that are really anti-Nintendo and going after saying this conference really sucked. And I have to admit that I'm kind of in the middle. I don't want to go too off on one side or another, so I don't want anyone who did not like it or who did like it starting to attack me now. But I can admit there were certain things in the conference that... I'm talking about the conference itself. I'm not talking about what was shown and what games are actually there. I'm talking about how the conference was done. There were certain things I didn't like, and there were certain things I liked. When I was watching the conference, and I was watching it from school because I had class that day, and I had to go and work and do a project during school, so I basically, while I was on the computer, went back and forth between my assignment and that. I liked it. Actually, there were certain things I didn't like as much, but mostly what they showed from Pikmin and all that stuff was actually interesting, the third-party games and whatnot. It was actually interesting, and I was interested most of the time. So yeah, once the conference was done and I started thinking about it and talking to everyone off of YouTube and Facebook and everything, and certain people on Facebook would know about this, I was starting to get into that mindset that the conference kind of sucked, and not horribly, but there were certain parts about it that were bad. And I don't think the conference was bad. It's not E3 2010 standards, because I still think that conference was better, but I think E3 2012 was better than E3 2011 for the most part, because they really didn't show like pretty much anything last year. This year they actually showed stuff, so yeah. But and as the conference was starting to settle in with me throughout the rest of Tuesday, I started thinking about it more and thinking about what they actually showed, and I started getting more positive feelings about the conference, even though I kept watching videos and there was people like Shokio and Dark Cloud attacking it. And while I agree with certain things they actually said, it wasn't actually positive. I'm not saying I'm being super positive here, because basically We Love Our Nintendo, based off comments on YouTube and whatnot, are super positive about this conference, and I'm not agreeing with them fully there either, because it was not all great. But like I said, and then as the day was settling in, I was thinking about it more, and I started liking it more. And then yesterday on Wednesday, I started having some conflicting views about it, like back and forth, certain pros and cons. And overall, I think it was a good conference. Could have been better, sure, but was it horrible? Not really, no. And that's all I want to say. I don't want to pick sides here, like I'm going to stay on one side, attack the other. I'm pretty much in the middle. I don't want to pick sides, because there were certain things I liked and certain things I didn't like. But it was not overall a horrible conference. It was just not as good as, say, 2010 or something like that. And that's all I'm saying. Let's get started on the games, because I've already taken about 4 minutes or so now just talking about my thoughts on what other people have said and stuff like that. Basically, they opened up the conference. Shigeru Miyamoto talked about Pikmin 3. I'm not really a Pikmin fan. I used to have the first one on the GameCube and didn't play a whole lot of it. Never played the second one at all. I actually have the first one on the Wii, and I haven't really played it yet, but I want to get back into that. And then once they bring out the new Play Control number 2, I want to get on to playing that as well, so I can get myself ready for 3, because it's not like a series I don't like, it's just I haven't really played it, but it was a good game then. And then from there they moved on to like New Super Mario Bros. U, and I agree with people saying, like, basically they said Nintendo, the fans wanted a Mario game at launch. Do you guys actually think they were going to have a 3D Mario game set for launch? They basically took what was known as Super Mario Brothers Wii from last year and put it in the U. And while I'm not saying it's a game I'm super hyped up for, it's a game I do want to play, 'cause I'm a Mario fan, whatever. But like I said, they're putting it out there so you have a Mario game to play at launch. They're not going to have Super Mario Galaxy 3 or Super Mario 3 something until probably 2013 or 14. And from the other games shown, they showed off Lego City Undercover Store. I forgot what it was called. The Lego City game. And that looks pretty interesting. It's basically like Grand Theft Auto and Legos. That's actually kind of interesting. I might want to try that one out because that's a game that does seem pretty interesting. They showed off Scribblenauts Unlimited, which is also for 3DS, and I played, I don't know, I think, was there 1 or 2 games on the DS of Scribblenauts? Because I rented one of them and I actually played it, and I enjoyed it. So I might try this one too. Then they showed that zombie game that was from that Nintendo Direct from Sunday that basically was based off of that. I think that they were teasing that until E3, Zombie U, which actually is a completely stupid name. But the game looks okay. It looks good in some regards, and some other people like ECCW are not liking it so far, and there's certain people out there that actually are. I have to see more on it to actually know if it's gonna. It looks interesting though. The concept looks interesting though, and the concept of if you die, you have to go back and get all your equipment from that person that's dead and they're a zombie or so. That actually is kind of interesting. They showed the game Sing. Before Sing, they showed Wii Fit U, which we already knew was gonna be a Wii Fit. And I'm not saying I actually like Wii Fit in a sense, but not entirely. It was not one of my favorite Wii series games. And then they went to Sing, and when they were talking about a singing game, music-based game, I thought they were going to do Wii Music, which I would have actually rather have seen than this game they called Sing, because Sing looks, not saying it looked bad, we had to learn more about it, because all they did was show basically a karaoke mode, but we'd have to see more on it, because I like music-based games like that. From the trailer, it really didn't look all that interesting, but it did look, okay for, an introduction trailer. Then I remember there was like a third-party trailer that they showed consisting of various third-party games, and Mass Effect 3 is coming to the Wii U, and there was a game called Tank, which actually looks kind of interesting, and I would play that. That's one game I'd like to meet all you guys online in. Tekken Tag Tournament 2, which I don't think that's not the same Tekken that they showed last year, I don't think. This is just going to be Tekken Tag Tournament 2. I don't think this one's the same Tekken. It might be. I think they're 2 different Tekken games, but I'm not fully sure. Because this one, they didn't really go into depth on that drawing on the characters thing, so I think that's a different one unless they just didn't show it and it is the same game. Ninja Gaiden 3 is still coming to Wii U. Alien Colonial Marines, Darksiders 2. They showed the Batman Arkham City. It's called the Armored Edition, and you basically can get power-ups for the Bat suit, which, even though I have the PS3 version of Arkham City, I'm still going to want to get this one. Just Dance 4 is coming, which we obviously all knew would be like Wii and Wii U and all that. And the whole idea of using the tablet to pick your songs to dance to is actually okay. And they showed Trine 2, which I think was a download title, and basically they ended their conference with Nintendo Land, which actually looks kind of interesting. If we could play online, that's something, and it's supposed to be a bundled-in game with Wii U, at least for us. It's a good game if we don't have to pay for it and it's bundled in with the system. That's good. If you don't have to get it separately. I'm not saying it's the greatest looking game or it's going to be awesome or anything. It's probably going to be awesome, but we don't know because we only seen a little bit of it, but it looks fun. And I think on the show floor they basically showed like Assassin's Creed 3, that Game & Wario game, Project P100, and the Wii U Panorama View. And they did show 3 3DS games during the conference, even though it was mainly Wii U, and that was New Super Mario Bros. U, Paper Mario Sticker Star, which actually has its own name now, and you use all the stickers. And Luigi's Mansion 2 is now known as Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. And then they basically moved that to the 3DS Showcase, which at the 3DS Showcase they basically went over Castlevania, Lords of Shadow, Mirror of Fate, the Epic Mickey Power of Illusion, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, those 3 games I just mentioned before, the Mario and Luigi, and all that. And basically, and they went over like a trailer of certain other small third-party games that they basically showed there. And, you know, that was about it. My overall thoughts, they showed a lot of games, and there's a lot of games for the Wii U, a lot of games for 3DS that I'm actually interested in. The only problem I really actually have with the Wii U part of the conference is I don't think the conference should have ended with Nintendo Land. That's the only complaint I really have now. Back then, like back on Tuesday, I might have thought a little bit more, but then after thinking about it more and what they actually showed, it's fine. I do think, and I also think that there should have been one big-time Nintendo franchise, not a big major one like Zelda or Metroid or anything, but another big, in the same league as like Pikmin or something, like Nintendo franchise. They should have started with Pikmin and went to that, but there could be a Nintendo Direct or something. But I do have to admit, I don't think Nintendo Land should have ended the show. They did focus a little too much time on that at the end, but even though it's a game I'm going to be interested in, I'm just saying that was a little too much focus. They should have did that game and did one last game after that. I think even that Project P100 should have been the end of the show. Something like that should have been the end of the show. Like, oh, here's a trailer of this game, and then you show it. You know, I don't know. It's just like, that's the only problem I really have with it now, besides the fact that I do believe there should have been one more within Pikmin's ranking of like how big that franchise is for Nintendo. Just end the show like Pikmin started the show. I think that might have been a little bit better. But outside of that, they showed a good amount of third-party games. We're getting Aliens, Darksiders, Assassin's Creed, Batman, Tekken, and all that. And we're getting first-party games like Nintendo Land, Mario, Pikmin, and all that. Oh, and Zombie U for third parties. I just think, I don't know. I'm not going to say it was bad or anything. It was good. The conference was good, and the 3DS Showcase was good. The only thing I think a lot of people were having problems with, I think, with this thing is there were, like, no surprises. Basically, every game we practically went in the scene, besides maybe some third parties, were basically games that were talked about for a while now. There was really no surprise like there, and I think that's really what I think a lot of the complaints are coming from, is the fact that there really were no surprises. Except for Nintendo Land and a few third parties. Like, we knew about Pikmin before this, we knew about Lego City, Mario, on Project P100, we didn't know about that. That was a surprise kind of too, in a sense. And we knew about the third parties like Assassin's Creed and Aliens, and we knew about Castlevania for 3DS. And 3DS was basically just talking about games we all really basically already know. But I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying I think what I would have changed was have actually had something else at the end of the show that might have been within Pikmin's level. I think at the end of it, I don't think Nintendo Land should have ended it. And that's about it. I mean, it's not like it's bad. I actually like what they showed. They showed a lot of good stuff, and overall it was pretty good. I'm just saying, I think the thing that a lot of people are talking about is really they were not surprised, and that's actually kind of strange for Nintendo. I mean, it's pretty obvious for like Sony and Microsoft, but for Nintendo, people expected some kind of surprise, and even though there was small little surprises, there was nothing really like surprise-wise. But coming off the fact that this was basically like the launch and launch window, I think that's kind of where they're going with this time, and that's about that. And basically, that's my thoughts on E3. I wouldn't give it a really high grade, but I wouldn't give it a crappy grade saying it was bad or anything. I'd give it probably in the 8 range, maybe high 7s. I'm not saying. I think it might have been a little bit better if they did like what I said, but outside of that, it wasn't really that bad. There's a lot of the complaints coming from it saying there's more casual than core games. If you go look at Guru One's stuff, and he actually did this on IGN, basically he listed them. There's more core stuff than casual stuff they showed. And you know, it's basically all that, and that's just my thoughts. I hope you guys like this video, and let's see where the Wii U and 3DS go from this, and hope that those can be talked about more, and these 100 Wii games that we're supposed to be getting come soon too. I'm just like, this is fun. Hope you guys like this video. Peace, please subscribe if you're watching. Have a nice day.